Mexico, members of a National Geographic Society expedition explore the world's newest and most exotic major cave. They are following one of man's most ancient imperatives, to seek and understand the unknown. Join us now as we embark on an extraordinary journey deep into the earth to confront mysteries underground. In the Guadalupe Mountains of southern New Mexico, an awesome giant has lain hidden for 1,000,000 years. Sometimes, in the desert silence, the monster could be heard breathing. The sound came from a yawning chasm in the rocks. In 1986, a trio of weekend explorers broke through a layer of rubble and discovered a new cave only a few miles from famous Carlsbad Cavern. Although the cave entrance lay inside Carlsbad Caverns National Park, park officials allowed qualified cavers to explore it.
Yeah, where's all your science stuff? That's one of it already transported into the cave. What do you got in that thing, Dave?
One of them was Rick Bridges, an oil and gas prospector.
That's about it. Camp stuff.
You got all the science here, too?
Yeah, most.
Now, Bridges leads a hand-picked team of experts, like rock climber Dave Jones, on the 25th expedition to Lechuguilla.
You got the survey gear in? Let's see, data logger and the...
Research geologist Kim Cunningham will handle the science studies for the expedition. Nuclear test engineer Ann Strait is an expert in surveying and mapping caves. And specialist cameraman from England, Sid Peru, will be the first to document Lechuguilla on motion picture film. The journey begins with a deceptively ordinary hike. The cave is named after a desert plant that grows in this harsh, dry environment, Lechuguilla, Spanish for little lettuce. 40 people will support the venture, including 2 support teams to pack in supplies and batteries for photographic lights.
On high up! We tend to have this feeling that the surface of the Earth is the life of the Earth, but we're just this small, thin little shell that we choose to call our world. And beneath it, there's an entire realm that we know very little about. And we can, if we choose, enter that realm, and we can and learn something from it.
I will never go to the moon, but I can go to a cave that nobody else has been to and have that same elation of exploration and the sense that I've gone where no one's gone before.
Bombs away. I would like to think that if I lived in another time, I would have been an explorer. You know, had I lived in the late 1700s, I would have wanted to know what was across the Appalachian Mountains. If I'd have been around when Lewis and Clark went to the coast, I'd have liked to have gone with them, you know. And I think most people that cave at this level and do this kind of exploration feel that way.
Here, Bridges and his companions excavated to break into Lechuguilla for the first time. Now the entrance is protected by a lockable hatchway. Through this tiny aperture, the cave breathes, blowing air out or sucking it in to equalize with the barometric pressure above ground. Winds up to 60 miles an hour howl out of here, hinting at the vast underworld below. Today, this is Lechuguilla's only known entrance, and there may never have been another. For 1,000,000 years, this place has lain undisturbed. In a real sense, it is a primordial world, untouched by all but microscopic forms of life.
On route! Whew. Long ways down. See you guys on the bottom.
Dave Jones starts down the 150-foot pit called Boulder Falls. It was here that the first explorers realized what a vast place they had discovered.
As you progress down, it gets steeper and steeper, and pretty soon you're free hanging, but your feet are still against the rock. And all of a sudden, you rappel by this little ledge, and there's no more rock, and there's nothing in any direction.
Beyond the base of the pit, the cave branches off in all directions. Only computer imagery can portray this labyrinth. After the May 1986 exploration, the cave was known to be 700 feet deep and more than half a mile long. Today, the system totals 60 miles and plummets more than 1,600 feet. Twisting capillaries and veins pierce the earth in all directions. This is a gigantic maze in 3 dimensions, defying conventional ideas of direction and scale. Footprints remain forever in this fragile environment. Plastic ribbons keep cavers on main trails. Expeditions into Lechuguilla have been likened to exploring Everest, only in reverse. The team is headed for base camp, still hours away. The trail leads on into inky blackness. Often they traverse chambers so vast, the cave walls are barely discernible. Gypsum crystals sparkle along the route. Now cavers encounter Lechuguilla's fantastic decorations for the first time. Helictites and gypsum flowers extrude from the walls, fragile gardens that have taken centuries to blossom, as minerals have been squeezed from the rocks like toothpaste from a tube. Beauty abounds. These jewels of the underground are exquisitely delicate needles of selenite.
This got the biotubes in that here.
With the constant maneuvering up, down, and through the cave's difficult terrain, 50-pound backpacks become painful burdens.
There's a lower rift, Dave, where we climbed out of Captain Hook's ladder.
Always in Lechuguilla, danger is not far away.
Okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3.
In 1991, seasoned caver Emily Mobley slipped and broke her leg while working on a surveying expedition in the cave's western sector. 1.5 miles from the entrance, 900 feet below the surface, this accident would trigger the largest and most publicized cave rescue in U.S. history.
Mark's back. That's a good speed, guys.
100 experienced cavers summoned to the scene would labor 4 arduous days to bring her to safety. The bond of comradeship that unites the caving community was seldom more evident than during this emergency. Every caver knows and instinctively responds to the code of the underground, that only cavers can save and protect each other.